So to survive the new basement that just came out in the storage, you're gonna need a few things. You'll need an AK, SMG, or LMG, one of those three. And you're gonna need double barrel shotgun. And for whichever rifle you choose, you gotta have a lot of ammo for it. I'd say at least 300. And for the double barrel, I'm gonna say at least 50. As well as armor pads, you're gonna want at least like 6 to 9. And then not just the stuff, you don't need just the stuff, you just need a speed buff item. That could be the speed blessing as well, or the speed juice. So first here, there's the arsonist. I'm gonna show you how to beat him. You don't have to waste any speed buffs on him, but this is how you screw it up fighting him. If you only try to use double barrel, you're gonna get flamed, and you will end up dying unless you put on a speed buff. So in this footage right here, this is the right way to fight him. Again, you don't need the speed buff, but you do need your primary rifle. And you can finish with the double barrel, or to be safer, you can continue using your SMG or AK. For the Flame Twins, you need a speed buff. They're much faster than the Arsonist, so if you try to back up like you do with the regular Arsonist, you're gonna die. So always have a speed buff for these guys and just constantly, sprint backwards while they chase you. For Tabitha the Witch, it's kind of hard to say. For this first footage, you can see me just screwing it all up. It's hard to hit her. She just kills me. And for this second footage, this just with speed buff, you can see on the left hand side. So I'm playing it safe like I would with the arsonist. I'm kind of using the pillar to like slow her down as well. A lot of times the NPCs will get stuck on the pillar if you try to bait them towards it. And then for this one, I still have the speed buff, but this method works really well. If you see, I'm essentially zigzagging around, like diagonally, and she just misses. So just move diagonally, from her. The ghoul is really hard. You're going to get hit no matter what on the first shot. And as you can see here, as long as you have a speed buff and you continually back up, the green laser thing won't hit you. See, he keeps trying and it's not working. But you see, my speed buff ran out, so now it's gonna hit and it heals him basically. So I'm just gonna slowly die unless I have the speed buff. So I'm gonna put superhuman blessing. And then gain some distance again and just, continually back up if he does keep chasing me. But sometimes they get stuck like this. So you just keep a safe distance and just, light him up until he dies. We're going to try the ghoul again. This time I applied the speed buff as soon as I open it. Sometimes if you back away too fast, he won't chase you. So you got to get closer and you have to take the first hit, unfortunately. But once you get him out, if he keeps chasing you, just, sprint backwards while lighting him up. And as long as you have the speed buff, he's not going to hit you with his laser. The Angry Banana is probably the worst one. You immediately have to put on your speed buff, because look how fast he is. And that was me sprinting like 2 dashes forward after putting on the speed buff. He was still right behind me. So you gotta be really quick with the banana, otherwise you will die. And then for these guys, we don't need the speed buff, but I always do it just to be safe. And the key with these guys is to just zigzag between these pillars. Like, switch. See, I'm like alternating from each side as they're kind of getting closer. See, I didn't take any shots at all from them just by zigzagging around the pillars. Another method you can do is risky, but essentially you have a flamethrower, you get really close and they stack on you. When they stack on you, their bullets don't hit you anymore. So That is one way, but it's really risky, so I wouldn't recommend it too much unless all you have is a flamethrower. The goblins are easy. You don't need to waste a speed buff for these guys. You just need to keep like running backwards using the pillars. The only one you need to watch out for is the strong goblin because he's faster than the others, so you'll need to occasionally run away while holding the knife in hand. For the spider, no, you have to have a speed buff. But he's not super fast, so you can just dash, shotgun, dash, and that should be it. The muck, I think he got a buff, because I don't do a lot of damage to him anymore. Each of my shots do like 3 or 4 damage for my double barrel. So for this guy, you just have to constantly like move around whenever he's going underground. See how I'm like swaying side to side? He will start hitting you if your speed buff wears off, so make sure you always have it on. Otherwise, he will hit you. Actually, he just hit me there even though I had speed buff, so you really have to like move sporadically. And for this guy, it's really simple. Just kind of stand to the side. He's just too big. So if you stand to the side of the storage you open him from, he can't leave. And you just shoot him like that. Shoddy Beck and Shoddy Ben, I think. You know, just light them up with the SMG or whatever. Also to... Alright. You see those items? I get to keep them if I reset from the basement, so long as I'm not in combat. So you don't have to go back and forth with the elevator with that. Here I'm gonna just show you how to pass this room. This is one of the most common rooms with the tripwire and the 2 traps. The first jump is the riskiest jumps because if you trip on it too soon, you will land in the spikes and die. And then on the way out, just fake out the traps and then jump over the tripwire. And yeah, that's most of the tips for how to beat, you know, the basement level for the storage. It's not too hard. If you didn't really take away anything from this, essentially, pay attention to which enemies need a speed buff and which ones don't. Because when you're grinding down here, you don't want to waste your speed buffs on all enemies if you can help it. Because you're trying to, you know, save up for money and stuff.